Welcome to Uncle John's Kitchen. Today I will be making courgette, walnut and chocolate cake. This recipe is going to be quite simple. For a small cake, all we need is 7 ounces of courgette, 5 ounces of caster sugar, 1 egg, 4 fluid ounces of vegetable oil, 7 ounces of plain flour, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon bicarbonate of soda, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon and 2 lemon zest. Just to show you a step-by-step guide of what we're using. So first of all, we're going to have 7 ounces of courgette. Today I'm going to use 2 different courgettes. I'm going to use a yellow one, so that's the yellow courgette. As you can see, this is a yellow courgette, and this now is a green courgette. So we have both courgettes here. What I would do, I would get a knife and I would cut the courgette and de-seed them, so I will remove all the seeds from it. So this is what the courgette looks like once it's been de-seeded, so there's no seed in it. Okay, make sure I dry my hands. And the old-fashioned way of grating the courgette is this, your old grater. Let me just adjust the light a little bit. Alright, so that's the old-fashioned way of doing the gratering. But today, I'm not going to do it the old-fashioned way because that takes a lot of time and manpower. So I will be using my salad master here to do the gratering. So you get a piece of courgette and I pop it in my salad master and just give it a few twirls. Okay, and it's ready. The good thing about using the salad master, as you can see, it takes the vegetable away and you got the skin. So the skin is all there, and as for me, I like to do my bit for the environment. So this is the skins from what I've done earlier. So what I do now, I'll put the skins into my composting bin, and the compost from that would be used in my garden for next year's stuff. So that was a courgette. Next we need 5 ounces of caster sugar, and I'm going step by step so everybody knows nothing is from the package, everything is done right here. So this is more than 5 ounces of sugar, as you can see, because I'm making 4 times the amount of cake on that recipe, because I'm going to be sharing it with friends and family. So that's the sugar. Next we need 1 egg. In this case I'm going to do 4 eggs, so 4 nice organic eggs, free-range eggs that I picked up from one of my church sisters, and you know, these are the best eggs you can get. The next we need vegetable oil. Instead of using normal vegetable oil, I'm going to be using 100% pure olive oil. And in this case I've got 4 times the amount of olive oil, like everything I'm doing, so that because I'm making 4 times the amount of cake. Next we need 7 ounces of flour, so I've quadrupled the flour as well. So this is some I've prepared earlier and I've sieved it, so it's all in a container ready for the cake. Make sure you sieve your flour to get rid of any lumps or stuff that may be in there. Just to step back one step, the sugar, I've put less of the amount of sugar that is required, and that's beneficial for people who suffer from high blood pressure or they're diabetic. They don't need that much sugar in their stuff anyhow. Then we need 1 teaspoon of salt. We also need half a teaspoon bicarbonate of soda, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon. So I've already prepared all of this, as you can see in this plate. So everything is in my plate. It's a bit, the lighting is probably not that good. You can see my cinnamon, my baking powder, my salt, and my bicarbonate of soda. And also for the salt, I use kosher salt, which apparently is a lot more healthier. So I use kosher salt in my baking. And finally we have the zest of lime. And for those of you who might not know what the zest of lime we're talking about, it's the outside, the skin of the lime. You grate the skin of the lime off. Don't go down to the white bit, the inside bit, because that in itself can be very bitter. So you don't need that for your cake. So just the zest of the lime. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to get my large container, this very large container, so I can make the paste for the cake in it. So my oven is already turned on. It's been preheated to 160 degrees Celsius, or gas mark 3. So what I'll do now, in this bowl, I'm going to beat together the courgette. So this is my courgette. Alright, so let me get rid of this bit. So that's the final product of my courgette. This is what it looks like when it's finally grated. So, right, so that's your vegetable. So all you vegetarians, vegans, people who like vegetable, you can make a cake from your courgette. So put all my courgette in there. Okay, just make sure your hands are clean before you start dipping it in stuff like this. Right, and I'm right next to my sink, so everything I do, I can give my hand a little wash. You have to be very hygienic when you're making things like that for people. So in this big bowl, I'm going to combine my courgette, my sugar, okay, put them in together. Next, I put in my 4 eggs. So I'm going to break the eggs, and the outer skin of the eggs I'm going to put in my composting bin as well, because that's good for composting. So got 1. 2. I'm not that skilled to break the egg without a knife. I'll learn. 3. 4. So all the leftovers from the egg, the trash, goes into the composting bin. So far I put my courgette, my sugar, my my eggs, and I'm going to beat them together, right? So nice clean wooden spoon that I had there. Now this one is not for beating, I'm just going to use it to beat the paste, not somebody, not a child. Okay, so I've mixed them all together. Okay, and the eggs looking so nice and rich. You know, these are free-range eggs, and I know it's free-range because I've gone to where it's from, and I know Sister Peggy has her chickens running around. So nice free-range eggs. So that's all done together. All right. Next, I'm gonna add a bit of vanilla extract or vanilla essence. I'm not even going to measure this because you want to make sure that it has some kind of taste. So don't be skimpy on it. Okay, you just pour some in, okay, and you mix it in. Alright, and the other dry ingredients that I've mentioned before, that's my baking powder. You got your bicarbonate of soda, and you have your ground cinnamon. So you mix all of those together. And then what I'm going to do now is to combine all the dry stuff together. So all my dry ingredients, i.e. my flour, or the rest of the dry ingredients, my flour, my cinnamon, my salt, my bicarbonate of soda, I combine them together. And let me get rid of this plate so the place is not too cluttered. Okay, and so I've got all of this ready. Okay, so I'll mix them together. So they're looking good together. So that's all my dry ingredients being mixed together now. Right, so I will now put my olive oil into the mixture. Put that away for washing. So this is a bit big and bulky. So, right, so that's my container, as you can see, nice big container. And at the moment the paste is very runny, liquidy. So that's the courgette without the flour in it now. So I haven't put the flour in. So next, what I'm going to do before adding the flour, I'm going to put some walnuts. I'm always making a mistake with this. I'm going to put some walnuts, so I'll put a couple handful of walnuts in there. Again, I haven't measured this, you know, just as much as you like, or if you've got allergy, nut allergy, then just forget about those things, don't worry, put them in there. Alright, so then I will put my lime zest in. Just get a little spoon so I can scoop it out. So that's my lime zest, as you can see, nice and yellow. Let me just sit back from the camera so you can see it. Just one second, get some of these light off. Right, so that's my lime zest ready. So I'll put that in my cake. That will give it a bit of a tangy taste. So that should be enough. So now I'm going to combine the flour into the liquid. So that's the flour which I had before. So put that in, bit at a time, so you can mix it in properly. Don't pour everything in there in one go, because it might just come out with lumps in it. Alright, so bit of if I move this out of the way, so then you can see a little bit more of the mixing that I'm doing. Right. So get my thing out of the way. Okay, stay down there. Alright. Now that's better. So this is making the paste now for the cake. Oven is warming up, getting really hot. So this is my courgette cake. Some more flour in. Probably think I'm feeding the multitude with all this cake I'm making. It's only going to make 4 cakes, and not very large cakes. One cake is supposed to be enough for 12 people. So just a little bit of elbow grease right now. Put it in because I'm not using a machine or food processor to do this. I'm just